Good evening. You're watching the 7 o'clock English news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The National Training Center for Leadership Skills in open space is inaugurated. The Civil Service Council discusses regulating of employment situations for some categories and nomination requests and contracting for technical jobs. The Minister of Tourism reveals 4 touristic landmarks for investment in the Wilaya of Rostaq. And the Sultanate reviews its touristic cultural abilities and maritime history in La Rochelle International Navigation Exhibition in France. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Alpha Conde of Guinea on his country's independence anniversary. Outward Bound Oman Challenge celebrated the completion of the project of the first Omani National Training Center in open space, aiming to provide various courses in lifestyle skills and work ethics, in addition to means of competitiveness. The center is located 12 kilometers far inside Sharqiya Sands. An agreement was signed with the British Institute to evaluate the training outcomes, in addition to inaugurate another 2 centers in the Governorate of Muscat and Dakhiliya. The center seeks to be a station for civil and environment studies in order to make the Sultanate a center for studies related to desert environments. The occasion was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Haytham bin Tariq Al Said, Minister of Heritage and Culture, with the presence of His Royal Highness Prince Andrew, Duke of York. The Council of Civil Service reviewed during its meeting today the topics received from various governmental bodies related to regulate employment situation for a number of employees categories in line with specialities of their work, in addition to duties and responsibilities of their jobs. The Council discussed also requests of employing and contracting for a number of technical jobs, where the Council stands on the reasons of these requests in terms of its importance to facilitate work of concerned bodies and practicing its tasks assigned to them. The Council also reviewed requested and rights of a number of governmental units for their outbound employees, in addition to the request of determining work timing in line with nature of work and specialization. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of the Royal Court, Chairman of the Council of Civil Service. Investment of Nizwa Fort by providing new services topped the agreement, which was signed by the Minister of Heritage and Culture and Omran Company. The project, at its completion, will be contributed in attracting more visitors to the Wilaya and introducing touristic and heritage landmarks in the Sultanate. The Minister of Heritage and Culture stressed that the work on developing the fort will be with preserving cultural and heritage aspects of it, in addition to ensure added value for national economy. Omran will have 25 years to implement investment aspects and will assign the implementation of the developing project to one of Omani companies in small and medium-sized categories. The Minister of Tourism revealed that it has allocated 4 sites for touristic investment in the field of green motels and heritage houses in Wadi Al-Sahtan in the Wilaya of Rostaq in the Governorate of South Batina. That came during the meeting of His Excellency Ahmed bin Nasser Al-Harizi, Minister of Tourism, with the citizens of the Wadi Al-Sahtan villages. The Minister was briefed on the difficult geography of the Wadi, as there is no asphalted roads and lack of communication network coverage in some areas which are considered the main causes hindering the tourism boost. The 4 sites will be provided with communications facilities and restaurants. At the meeting, it was disclosed the importance of the investment in the tourism sector and establishing civil companies to strengthen this sector. In addition to the support rendered by the ministry to encourage partnership between various establishments concerned with tourism sector. The ministry, through this step, aims to increase the contribution of the tourism sector to the gross domestic product. It also affirmed that Oman has so much to offer to the tourists, especially tourists from the West. He as well added that Oman has much more potentials to develop tourism in the future, as there are thousands of sites to visit for tourists. In a statement to the Sultan of Oman Radio and Television, His Excellency Ahmed bin Nasser al-Mhrizi, the Minister of Tourism, affirmed that the project of improving Al-Kasfah water spring in the Wilayah of Rustaq will be finished by the end of this year. The broadband coverage in the Governorate of Muscat by 2020 will be 85%, as the Omani Broadband Company's future strategy seeks to mark the coverage on the Governorate 30% during the same period. It's worth mentioning that more than 145,000 housing and commercial units were covered by the broadband network by the end of September 2017. The development projects being implemented by the company in various wilayas came within the national goals to provide fast internet services to the users. Still to come, our news bulletin. The Endowment and Religious Affairs Office in Dakhiliya Governorate inaugurates the first youth forum. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The Sultanate, and through its participation in the International Exhibition of Navigation in La Rochelle city in France, managed to acquaint French society with various touristic potentials of the Sultanate. The exhibition is considered the 5th biggest annual international exhibition specialized in boats, show, and promote water tourism activities and services. The Sultanate's participation in this event reflects the promotional efforts exerted by the Sultanate to highlight its touristic sites and facilities. The Sultanate's participation at this exhibition aims to strengthen deep-rooted ties with France and highlight Oman's tourism potentials. The Omani Pavilion in the exhibition represented various sectors in the country and shed light on its seafaring legacy. The pavilion also presented various handicrafts like palm fronds products and enriched visitors with the Omani civilization and history in shipbuilding expertise. A seminar on crisis and emergency cases management tourism sector started in the Governorate of Muscat. It aimed to enhance the national capabilities to respond to such cases more effectively, as well as to acquaint the participants with the dangers and challenges facing tourism sector. The seminar was organized by the National Committee for Civil Defense in cooperation with the Ministry of Tourism. The 5-day seminar will include workshops targeting air and land travel sectors. 3 Asian nationals died in an accident inside one of the cargo ships anchored at Sohar port. The Public Authority for Civil Defense and Ambulance said that 3 people fell inside the wooden storage area in the ship and died due to inhalation of chemical that is preserving the wood. From its side, the Sohar Port Administration stressed that this accident did not cause any fallout in the environment and safety of any individuals, either on board the ship, port or local society, mentioning that the body concerned carried out required investigation procedures about the accident. The Board of Directors of Public Authority for Crafts Industries, during its meeting today, discussed the projects that aim to encourage entrepreneurship and investment, as well as increase their contribution in their gross domestic product. It also reviewed the rules and standards of preparing marketing studies for all the crafts products, in addition to focusing on cooperation program with the free market in Muscat International Airport. The board further discussed the designs recorded in the system of protection of intellectual property with the aim to support the authority initiatives. The meeting was headed by Her Excellency Sheikh Aisha bint Khalfan Asiyabia, Chairperson of the Public Authority for Crafts Industries. Deposits in commercial banks rose, reaching 18.9 billion Omani riyals in last July. The investment of commercial banks in securities market also rose to reach 2.8 billion Omani riyals due to the increase in government treasury bills and foreign stocks. Investments in government bonds and government instruments witnessed light increase by 0.7% to reach 1.3 billion Omani riyals. The first Youth Forum was inaugurated today by the Endowment and Religious Affairs Office in Dakhiliya Governorate. More details in the following report by Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
In a first of its kind initiative across the Dakhiliya Governorate, the Endowments and Religious Affairs Office in the Dakhiliya Governorate organized the first Youth Forum under the title Fi Riyadh al-Sharia, aiming to raise the spirit of religious awareness and promote the importance of Islamic rules and principles among the youth.
The forum aims to foster the Islamic culture, Sharia and cooperation among school students.
The forum focuses on the cultural, social and intellectual aspects that help strengthen the youth's identity in their daily routine and while dealing with social media channels in particular. The forum includes an exhibition which continues its activities over the coming 2 weeks. It aims to shed light on the sources, characteristics and principles of Sharia. It is worth mentioning that several institutions took part in the forum in a collaborative way between different segments of the society to exploit the energies of the youth. For the Sultanate of Oman Television English News, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Al-Dakhiliya Governorate.
And finally, the Eiffel Tower receives more paying visitors than any other monument in the world. And this month, it reached a monumental milestone, welcoming its 300 million visitors. Behind the scenes, Henry Claude, Willem and Jack are 3 of the nearly 300 employees keeping Paris Iron Lady humming with visits each day. And here's a report.
From its steampunk machine rooms to the lights and antennae at its peak, the Eiffel Tower with its 7,300 tons of iron is a moving, humming tourist center that's been an icon of the French capital for 128 years. The top is where everyone wants to go, and for that, elevators are essential. But the first ones of the day go up completely empty.
We have many sensors. We have a whole lot of information coming in from all over the tower. And by monitoring these screens, we can know everything that's happening.
Some of the elevators are still hydraulic, true to their turn-of-the-century origins. The cables are regularly checked with ultrasound and completely changed every 7 years, just like the exterior paint. A ride in one of them is a chance to fly over Paris, but also to ask questions to guides like Wilhelm du Bellois. After 10 years working on the tower, where marriage proposals are a daily occurrence, he's seen all kinds of ways of popping the question.
Once happened that the guy lost the ring. I will never forget it, never. And it was so, c'était tellement triste. So the lady was crying. He was extremely in a bad shape. The ring, we never found the ring again.
Proposals tend to happen at night, around the time that the tower's lights become visible to the entire city. 20,000 bulbs have covered the structure since the year 2000, and on top, a ray of light appears to circle the summit. The effect is created by not one bulb, but 4. And the lamps are currently under repair, an operation overseen by electronics manager Jacques Barrière.
On a accès facilement à la lampe.
With so much technology 320 meters up, it isn't a job for the faint of heart. But Barrière says he's always loved the top of the tower, even getting a chance to stand atop the spire.
When you really go to the top of the antenna, it's fabulous. It's fabulous because you're in the sky. You're in the sky and you see all of Paris.
It's a view not many will get to experience, but the city of Paris can enjoy the summit from a distance. Repairs to the lamps are scheduled to wind up in 2 weeks, after which time the Iron Lady will shine once more.
Now for the general focus around the Sultanate. Clear skies prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning over the governorates of Sharqiya and Wusta and coastal areas of Sea of Oman, and winds will be southerly to southeasterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultan of Oman television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The National Training Center for Leadership Skills in Open Space is inaugurated. The Civil Service Council discusses regulating of employment situations for some categories and nomination requests and contracting for technical jobs. The Ministry of Tourism reveals 4 touristic landmarks for investment in the Wilaya of Rustaq. And the Sultan reviews its touristic, cultural abilities and maritime history in La Rochelle International Navigation Exhibition in France. And with that, come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, is good night.